Hello there, and thank you for coming along with us on this full ship tour of the Sky Princess. On this tour, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. The ship is going to have decks 5, 6, and 7 at the lower end, and then we're going to work our way up to the upper decks on 16, 17, and 18 a little bit later on. On this tour of the Sky Princess, in the bottom left, you're going to have a description of where you're at, and in the bottom right, you're going to have a deck plan of the ship, of the deck that you're on, and there'll be a little guy down there that's a little red circle that'll follow along with where we're at on the ship, wherever this camera goes. So we're going to start off here on deck 5 at the forward elevators, and up at the forward part of deck 5 is the spa. And then as you come a little bit after the spa, you're going to come into the kind of little center area here where they have the shore excursions desk, and then directly across from that you're going to run into the guest services desk over here. They are going to be able to help you out with anything you need for excursions or any issues that you may have while you're here on board the Sky Princess. And then just over here to the left is one of the paid dining venues. This is Sabatini's. This is their Italian-style restaurant that they offer on board as one of the specialty dining options on board the Sky Princess down here. Now, we'll go ahead and come in here and take a little quick tour so you can get an idea of what this restaurant actually does look like. The food is pretty good in here. We've eaten at Sabatini's before on other ships, and generally the food at Sabatini's is pretty good. Now, as we come out of Sabatini's here, we're going to come up into the main piazza here. And off to the right of the main piazza here, this is where the International Cafe is. The International Cafe is kind of your go-to for cookies and sandwiches pretty much 24/7. They're always there. They do also have a specialty coffee area there, but just so you're aware, those specialty coffees may be at a cost depending on the drink package that you have. And then there's a look out into the 3-story piazza that is out here on the Sky Princess. And back behind is Bellini's bar. This is one of the 2 bars that are down here on the piazza on deck 5. Now, this deck is unique. Each ship is unique in its piazza. They do have different decorations in each one, and this one I actually think is really pretty. I like the blue and white glass design that they did for their chandeliers that they have here. And then as we head back here a little bit further, we're going to go past the mid elevators to one of the included main dining rooms. This is the Soleil dining room. We'll go ahead and walk in here and take a little look so you get an idea of what this is. This is for free. There are 3 main dining rooms that are on the Sky Princess. There's 2 more up on deck 6 that we will go visit a little bit later here. Now, they all are a little bit the same in their design. They just may have a different color scheme, but they all do serve basically the same meal. And then on different ships at different times, some will also serve a breakfast and a lunch as well for main dining for each of those meals. Then we'll kind of zip on through the elevator lobby here, and then we'll come out to the other side where we have the Internet Cafe. And the Internet Cafe is just a place where if you do need some internet access and need to use a full-size computer, you can come in here and make use of some of their computer equipment, but just be aware you will need to have purchased some sort of an internet package to be able to do that. And then as we go back past, there's a little general shop here called the Celebration Shop. It's just for sundries and other things that you may need to purchase while you're here on the cruise. After that, we're going to come into the gelato, and the gelato area is a paid venue. It depends on kind of the drink package or Princess Plus package you have, but in general you will pay for the gelato. And then this is the Vines bar. This is the other bar that is down here on deck 5. Vines is kind of a little more focused on wine, but they do have a full service bar there as well for whatever you're interested in. All right, as we head on up to deck 6 here, we're going to go ahead and start off with the Estrella main dining room. This is directly above the Soleil main dining room below at the mid elevators. It's the second of the 3 main dining rooms. The third main dining room is kind of in an inconvenient location at the very back of deck 6, but there's no real way to get to it. On deck 6, as you head aft, it's kind of blocked by a bunch of crew spaces that are in the way. So the only way to get to it is we go up to deck 7, and then we'll go back down and hit it at the end after we finish off all of deck 7. We'll go down and take a look at that. But as we continue out of the Estrella main dining room here, we're going to go ahead and head into the art and photo gallery. So for anybody who wants to buy some art on board, or who wants to have some professional pictures done or photos done with family or something like that, this is where you're going to come to take care of all of that. And then as we head on back past this, we're going to have the Good Spirits at Sea bar here. This is a really nice little bar that overlooks the piazza from deck 6. It's got a really nice view. It's just kind of a nice little bar area that they have right here. And then as we head around the back side of the Good Spirits at Sea bar, we're going to pass by the casino. We will come back and do that in just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and show you what's over here on this side of the ship first. The Shops of Princess. If you want to do any shopping on board, this is where you're going to come over and do that on deck 6. And then after the shops, you're going to end up heading a little further back here to where you will find the Future Cruise desk. So if you find that you need to go ahead and book another cruise while you're on board, you can come in here, and sometimes the Future Cruise Center will have some additional incentives that they will put out to entice you into going on another cruise. Now, this is their casino on board the Sky Princess. We're just going to do a quick walkthrough here. At the end of this video, there will be a link for a really full and complete walkthrough that Vicky did that will have a lot more of this casino and some more information about the casino itself. It'll be a lot more in depth than what I'm going to do here on the ship tour. So as we come out the forward part of the casino here on deck 6, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Princess Theater. There are entrances from both deck 6 down here, and there are entrances to the Princess Theater as well up on deck 7. So you can take your pick, whichever deck you want to use, 6 or 7, to come in for whatever performance or event they have going on here in the main theater. And sometimes they'll even have some shore excursion meetups here in the main theater as well. So just be aware of that. A lot of times those will end up meeting up on deck 7 though. So, all right. And as we head out of the Princess Theater here, we're going to head across to their little arcade, the Churchill Arcade. If you want to come in here and let your kids play around for a little while, you can do that. There is also a center for the kids to kind of get dropped off up on deck 17 as well. So just be aware that that's up there also. And then out of the arcade here, you're going to run into the Take 5 Lounge. They have a full bar in here. They have a bunch of different events that will be on your daily planner that are going on here throughout the day in this particular area. On different ships, they have started expanding the casino into this area as well, and they have made it kind of a non-smoking area from what I understand on some of those ships. I think the Enchanted Princess is one that's already done it, but they also have an entrance back out here into the main casino, which, by the way, the casino on this ship is 100% smoking. So just be aware of that as you're going through here. There will be smoking in that area. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump up to deck 7, and we will start out in the main theater here so you get an idea what the theater looks like from up here on deck 7. Just kind of depends where you want to sit and where you need to go for whatever's going on in the theater there. And then as we head back through deck 7 here, these are another set of shops at Princess. I consider this kind of their little higher end shops at Princess. There's usually someone in here hanging around these kiosks that's more than happy to help you spend a little bit of your hard-earned money. And a lot of there's more jewelry, kind of a little bit more high-end stuff going on up in this particular shopping area on deck 7, just after the theater here. There's also a nice little place to sit if you don't mind hanging out here and letting everybody walk through here. Is kind of the only pathway to go from the forward part of deck 7 towards the aft section here out into the piazza here. Now, the first thing we come to here is the Ocean Terrace. This is kind of a casual dining is what they call it. It's a smaller fee, and a lot of times they will be partially included or fully included in one of the Princess Plus packages as part of the add-on for that package. And then the Catch by Rudy is their specialty seafood restaurant here up on deck 7. We've eaten at the Catch. It's actually pretty good. Their seafood's actually very good. So just be aware that it's kind of hanging out around here. You can kind of walk right through it as you're going through the piazza area here, but this is a nice little view out the side there. So, and as you kind of head aft of the Catch by Rudy here, you're gonna head off across through the elevator lobby here. This is just really the only thing that's on this side of the ship is the Catch. So as you come out the other side of the elevator lobby, you're gonna come into Alfredo's. It's a little pizzeria. This is also another casual dining place that you can come eat. It's not very expensive if you want to pay for it, but it is, again, typically included partially or fully in some way as part of the Princess Plus packages that they offer. Now, as we leave Alfredo's and this area of the ship, we're going to continue heading aft on deck 7. So, aft on deck 7 here, you start to go into some of the little more of the entertainment area here. This is Princess Live, and this is where they're going to have a lot of the events back here. This first part of the section here is actually their little internet help area right by Princess Live. If you need some help with the internet, there's usually someone there that can help you out. They also have their own little cafe and bar that's sitting right there. You can get drinks and specialty coffees there as well. But the Princess Live area here, they will have various different games or events or shows or something going on there throughout the day that you'll have listed in their daily planner for you. So just be aware of that. And then a little further back from this, you're going to run into the Crown Grill. The Crown Grill is a specialty restaurant. It is their steak and kind of their high-end steakhouse here. They do also have their own little bar back here, and there are some live music performances that do tend to go on out there by the Crown Grill bar as well. But just be aware of this is not included in anything. The Crown Grill will be at a cost, so just be aware of that. But it is a nice little place if you want to come back and listen to a little bit of live music right here. And then as we head on back past the Crown Grill, you're going to end up coming into the Vista Lounge. So the Vista Lounge also has a lot of different performances that go on back here. They'll a lot of times have their stand-up comedian back here. Sometimes they'll have late night events going on, like they'll have a silent disco, or they'll have something else like a captain's party or something like that kind of goes on back here in the Vista Lounge as well. So as we head on out now out of the Vista Lounge, I'm going to go ahead and take you down to the last and final main dining restaurant that is down actually on deck 6 here at the bottom of these stairs. This is the Cielo dining room, and it is the last of the 3. Just be aware that the only way to get to this dining room is from deck 7 and above at the aft elevators and stairs. Cannot get to it directly on deck 6. There is stuff in the way there, so just be aware of that. But this is that last dining room. I promised to kind of show you where it was hiding at down here. Now we're going to go ahead and come up back to deck 7, and I'm going to take you to some of the outside spaces here, because these are some of the few outside spaces at the lower levels. So on the starboard side of deck 7 out here, this is the smoking area, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of skim past it here, because there are a bunch of people out here that were having a cigarette break, and that's where you're going to kind of come. That's one of the smoking areas on board. On the opposite side, on the port side, you can come out here, and this is the non-smoking side of deck 7, where you can come out and grab some views of wherever you're sailing through. This happened to be the views as we were sailing into Stockholm on this particular cruise. So this is actually kind of a nice little place to hang out. There's some nice padded lounge chairs, and you can get a pretty nice view from a little bit lower down, rather than having to be up with everybody up on decks 16 and 17 to get some of these views. So, all right, and that is it for deck 7 at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and head on to the upper decks after this. All right, now we're going to go ahead and head back on up to deck 16 here at the aft section. We're going to go ahead and start our tour of the World Fresh Marketplace here. This is the main buffet here on the Sky Princess, and it is actually a very large buffet, and they've done a very good job on these ships with this buffet. There is a lot of offerings, and typically there is plenty of seating as well. Sometimes it'll get a little bit full, but you can usually find a spot in here. The aft section is the largest section by far. There are these two main sections here at the back where they have most of the main offerings that you're going to run into. It is by far the largest area of the buffet with the most food and offerings, but it's also the one that doesn't necessarily get set up right away. And then you're going to have those drink stations set up throughout the buffet here in a few different places. They have a little bake shop there on the right where you can get like pastries and cakes and desserts and things like that throughout the day, depending on the meal. They also do have a little specialty coffee area in there as well, and a lot of times they'll have like a gluten-free or a sugar-free dessert section in there as well. Now, this is the forward section of the World Fresh Marketplace. This is the smaller area, but it is the one that does get up and going earlier than the back section. They tend to stagger these two areas for when they open up and get going for breakfast and lunch and dinner. This forward section will be up and going first, but it will also be the one that closes first, and they'll leave the other one going at the back a little bit longer while this one gets set up for the next meal for so this is breakfast, it'll be closed first, and it'll get set up for lunch while the other ones are kind of breaking down from breakfast and getting set up for lunch. So just give you an idea of how they do that. And then there's usually at the pastry area here, there's a little coffee and tea section there as well if you want to get some coffee or tea with your meal. And then we're going to go ahead and head back to these sections here at the back. These have a pretty good offering. This is actually one of the better buffets that you're going to find on most cruise lines. It's actually, in my opinion, these class of ships by far have the best buffet on Princess, just hands down. They have way more offerings and a lot more space to run their main buffet. Well, we're going to go ahead and go out the back here to the pool area at the back of deck 16. This is the Wakeview Pool and Bar. This is a little bit of an extra seating area for the main buffet, and they do have usually some sort of coffee or tea or juice and water that are out back here as well for those that want to come out here in the morning. And then the pool area itself is considered kind of a quiet area. This is typically an adults only pool. There isn't a lot of stuff going on out here. It's a pretty quiet place to just kind of come back to and relax and chill out. They have their own bar back here. And like I said, they do kind of have their own little drink area and water station here at the back as well. So if you want to come out and grab some morning hot chocolate as you're sailing through the ocean here, this isn't a bad way to come up and see the sunrise in the back deck here. It's actually a pretty quiet, peaceful little place. All right, so now through the magic of video editing, we're going to go ahead and jump on up to the forward part of the main buffet. And we're going to head out to the main pool area here. Now, unfortunately I didn't show it here, but off to the right there is a little soft serve ice cream area. And then off to the left, we're going to come to the Seaview Bar here. That's one of the two bars that are out here at the main pool area. And as we come back here, you're going to find that there are actually two different pools back here, so that they can kind of make two different areas for different events that may be going on. They can kind of split that up. There are also 3 hot tubs out here as well in the main pool area here on deck 16. And then as we head back here a little bit, you're going to run into the Salty Dog Grill. And that's where you're going to get kind of some hamburgers and hot dogs. That is included. And then next to that is the Mix. This is the other bar out here on the pool deck. Just kind of split up the load there for people hanging out here during the day. And then that is the screen that you're going to have for the Movies Under the Stars, Movies at Sea there, where they have different events and shows and stuff going on there. And then this is the Sliced Pizza, where you can get free slices of pizza if you don't want to pay for pizza downstairs in Alfredo's. So Now we're going to go ahead and kind of head back towards the main buffet here. They do have this nice little covered seating area here in the middle, as well as all the deck chairs that they're starting to set up out here. This will be a very busy place throughout the day though here in the main pool area, so just be aware of that. And then we're going to kind of come to a fun little thing that they have on both sides of the ship. I'm just going to walk across this on this side of the ship here. It's the little glass floor that allows you to see down to the ocean here on deck 16. It lets you see all the way down to the ocean and kind of the deck space that's down on deck 7 down below there. So just kind of give you a fun little view of something you can do out here. All right, now we're going to go ahead and finish up this area. We're going to kind of finish where we started over here at the sea view bar, just on the opposite side of the bar out here. All right, so now that we're up here on deck 17, I'm going to kind of walk you through all the deck spaces that are out here on deck 17. This is by far the largest deck space area on the ship. They not only have all the deck space out here, but they do have 4 additional hot tubs, 2 on the port and 2 on the starboard side. Now as we head towards the forward section of deck 17 here on the port side, we're going to walk past the huge theater TV screen that they have out there for everybody to enjoy throughout the day. And this is actually one of the better areas to get a good view off the side of the ship if you want to come up and take pictures, or just kind of take in the view for wherever it is you happen to be sailing through at that particular time. And also a great place to come up if you're looking to get a tan on whatever cruise it is that you're on. We happen to be in Stockholm at the moment here, so not a lot of tanning going on at this time of the morning. Now, these doors provide access into the cabin area of deck 17 at the forward section, but it also is the way you're going to come up to the adults only pool that's up here on deck 17. The retreat pool area here would normally have a whole bunch of chairs out here for people to come out and spend time in, but as I'm out here a little bit early, they haven't got that all set up yet. They do have their own retreat bar back here as well. And this is also deck 17 and deck 18. So it spans both decks. So we're going to go ahead and jump on up here so that we can kind of take a look at deck 18. So as we come on up here, deck 18 spans around and has even better views of the surroundings wherever it is you happen to be sailing. They do have a couple of hot tubs up here as well, so it's actually kind of a nice little place to come up and chill out if you want a nice quiet place to relax. The only thing I've ever really noticed about up here is sometimes it can be a little bit windy depending on where you're at, but this is also the entrance into the sanctuary. This is a paid only area. You will pay a daily fee to come spend time there in the sanctuary. I think it's either $20 or $40 a person. It depends on the ship, and I've never actually paid it to actually go in and take a look in there because there's actually plenty of deck space on these ships, and I've never felt the need to do it. The only thing it does offer over anything else on the rest of the ship is it does have forward-facing views. There's nowhere else on this Royal class of ship and the Sky Princess to actually go get a view out the forward part of the ship. So just be aware of that as well. That's something that's not necessarily advertised a whole lot. But we're going to go ahead and go back on out to deck 17's deck space around the main pool area here, and we're going to kind of continue walking around this area. So now, as we head forward here, you're going to run into the other 2 hot tubs that are over here on this side as well, but it does actually have a pretty nice view down below to the 2 main pools that are down in the main pool area here. This area is usually filled with deck chairs, but I figure I'd come up here and give you a nice unencumbered view of what this deck space looks like. So now, again, this actually has a really nice jut out to the side here where you can get some really nice views off the side of the ship, and kind of some partial forward-looking views if you want to try and look forward around the side as where that juts out there to kind of get some better views. Now, as we head a little bit back past the hot tubs here on deck 17. Here on the starboard side of deck 17, you're going to run into the fitness center. This is the starboard side looking fitness center that they have here on board the boat. This is actually a really nice little fitness center that they do have here. I do actually like the fitness center on board this class of ship. It's a fairly decent sized fitness center that they keep on board. So let's kind of walk you through here, and it's kind of a walk through. Most people will walk right through here if they're trying to get to the very back section of deck 17, but they have plenty of machines, lots of treadmills, and they have a fair amount of ellipticals. They have some bikes. They have a decent little free weight section here that's off on the right hand side. They do have towels as well. They don't have any chilled water that some of the cruise lines do offer, but it is a fairly complete little area here that they do have. So, and hopefully I'll be back in here a little bit later, but we'll see. And they also, off on the right here, they do have their own little fitness studio. This is where they're going to do like a spinning class or a yoga class or something like that. But when they're not in here, you're more than welcome to come in here and use these facilities if they're not already having a class in progress or something else is going on in here as well. So just be aware, it's there. And then as you continue heading towards the aft section here, there is a bathroom, men's and women's bathroom here on the right with little changing areas. And then their little water fountain right there with filtered water. And then they even have expanded the gym back here. They have a nice little section back here that's a little bit more free weights and machines, and they have a couple of rowing machines back in here as well to kind of help supplement the regular gym area. This is an expansion over some of the other Royal class ships to have this space back here. So now we're going to go ahead and go out to the very back of deck 17 through these little doors here at the back. And there is actually another set of bathrooms there for you if you need them. I'm sorry, we're going to kind of do a really quick walkthrough of 17 because it really is just a space for some loungers and kind of a little view out the back of the ship here. So, all right, so deck 18 really is just the jogging track and the sports court here at the aft section of deck 18. So we're just going to kind of go ahead and zip through it. That really is about all that's up here at the back part is the sports court and the Princess Link's little putting green that they have up here. This actually has some really nice views up here, but as for this tour, that is about all there is. We're going to go ahead and end up here with some nice little views up here on deck technically 19 on the golf course, but I'm not going to give it its own little space. So if you found any of this helpful or useful or enjoyable, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. We would really appreciate it, and it helps the channel. Thank you so much.